In today's lecture, we're going to talk about how to visualize correctly. And when you do, you can change your life. I did it. I started viewing my future and had it within 48 hours. I have an example for you here on my iPad from a YouTube commenter that basically became so aware of being healthy that she became healthy. And that is what visualization really is. It's not about seeing images in your head. And most of what is taught about visualization is just, it's not the final step. It's the step before the final step. And in this video, I want to clarify what is visualization? Why are you doing it? And how can it actually change your life just by doing this one simple thing? I have notes on my screen. I have an iPad to draw from. Let's begin, right? This is part 2 of a series on how to change your life. I posted another video yesterday about how to look at awareness and how to change your story. And this is about how to visualize, okay? And this will be a very easy to follow video, but please pay attention. And please let go of all the labels you have inside of you. Let go of your current story just to watch this with your awareness, all right? We have half an hour because then I have a coaching call. So let's be quick about it. Let's jump on the iPad. And then let's look at this lovely comment that really tells you what to do. It is on my video from yesterday. Thank you, Chris. I love your content and it has been helped me so much. In the past few months, I have manifested so much. I used to have a food allergy that made it impossible for me to eat most raw fruits and vegetables without extreme gut pain. It's now gone. My hay fever that I've had all my life is gone. I don't need glasses anymore, and I've worn them for 60 years. I have this loaves and fishes thing going on where I never run out of money, even though I live on Social Security. And then she goes on to mention that she moved away with her daughter and ended up manifesting a place to live as well. This story is the epiphany and also the summarization of what is possible for all of us when we visualize correctly. Because visualization is not the process of having an image in your head, right? It's just a fancy term of being aware of something outside of physical reality. Because you think it's a screen in your head, but it's not. Your awareness is aware of so many things, the being inside of you that is looking out through your head or out through your eyes, right? And your awareness is not really in your head, it's just everywhere. Your head is also in your awareness. Let's talk about that another time. But what we are actually doing is becoming aware of something new. And when we become aware of something new, awareness spills over and becomes physical reality. So we go from consciousness to mind to matter, physical reality. So you can then lose an allergy, hay fever, glasses, by becoming aware of not having it. By spending more awareness on not having it than you spend on having it. And we will talk about some examples later on. Let me just draw for you what I mean. Because first you have to understand what is awareness and how does it become reality. And when we've talked about that, then I can tell you how to actually visualize. What are you actually doing with visualization? All right? So let's start the process. Yeah, I also have this comment. I think we'll talk about it another time, about how you change your inner world first and then outer world suddenly changes. But yeah. So from inner to outer. Okay? But let's begin. So what you are aware of will be what you are aware of. And that really is, it sounds like a simple quote, but it's not. It's actually the entirety of visualization. What you are aware of will be what you are aware of. Meaning that if you closed your eyes right now and you spent only your awareness on one thing, your experience, your life experience would be that thing only. If you then included several things in your awareness, your life experience would be only that thing. But then you open your eyes and you spend your awareness on your bank account, on your knee pain, on your relationship. And then that is what you are aware of. And what you're doing is collapsing wave particles all the time. You're taking what we call potential. So everything that exists, some of it is matter, some of it is not physical matter yet. And we are either removing it from our awareness or including it in our awareness, right? And the more I can become aware of something, the more I will be aware of it. Because the more I'm aware of a certain thing, the more I'm collapsing that potential into more matter for it to show to me. Let's try to draw it so it makes sense. I call this the teapot, all right? So let's say we have a teapot, right? This looks like an elephant, actually. But this is actually a teapot, right? And it's one of those old teapots where it goes, young people won't know what I mean, but you will know when it's about to boil. And if you have filled this teapot too much, maybe some of it will spill over, right? And water will run out of it. That's not the point of boiling water, that it will run over. But this is actually your awareness. That when you spend awareness on something, you are slowly heating up that awareness. You're concentrating that awareness, right? So let's say there's some awareness, right? You are bringing it to a boil by becoming more aware of it. And what awareness does when it becomes so condensed, it collapses into matter. It's like when you take a gas in a gas tank, like I mentioned yesterday as well, it becomes liquid. It becomes solid when it's under enough pressure. So you pressurize this, you collapse this, okay? And then it spills over into matter. So we have awareness spilling over into matter, right? Simply by pouring it out, right? I'm aware of something until it solidifies. And that is really important for you to recognize, so that you understand that visualization is the act of becoming more aware of something. We will talk about later why you actually need to do it. This here could also be using the analogy of a volcano, right? Where we have the awareness that is the lava, magma, whatever you call it in English, and it comes up, right? And when it reaches the ground, it solidifies as stone, right? That is actually a great representation of what you are doing with your awareness. So you can say, okay, if I spend all my awareness on being sick, what can I use my awareness on? I can use it on mind, thoughts, meaning, words. I can also use it on matter, what I see and experience. So my awareness is my consciousness, what some people would call God, Allah, the source, the all, right? And if I spend my awareness on being sick, I slowly condense that, and it can spill over into sickness. If I spend my awareness on being healthy, it spills over into being healthy, right? Awareness will be what you are aware of, right? So when I become so aware that something is here, it is here. And that is what the comment I wrote to you is telling you, that if you become so aware of being healthy, it spills over. It collapses, right? And the funny the trick is to this, and we'll talk about this later, is how do I convince myself that I'm healthy? How do I trick my old awareness? Right? And that's either a point of losing awareness of self in deep meditation. Joe would tell you to do that, right? Joe Dispenza. It sounds like I'm on first name basis with him. I'm not. But he would tell you to go into deep meditation. That's actually not needed. But to some people, it is needed because you have not yet reached the level of faith where you actually know that God or consciousness or awareness will take care of this for you. That awareness can actually just spill over and change your reality simply by becoming aware of it. And so if you then don't go into deep meditation and visualize, you think you are separate from the visualization. That awareness that you have with closed eyes, that awareness is separate from the awareness you have with eyes open. They are the same awareness, being aware of something, just in a different place, just not using a sensory organ, the eyes, right? So if you don't go into deep meditation, you have this, but I will try to be aware of being healthy. I will tell myself I'm healthy while continuously being aware of being unhealthy and trying to solve my unhealthiness, which is all just solidifying unhealthiness. Yeah, but it hasn't worked yet. I'm still doing it. I'm still affirming. But it hasn't worked yet. So what you are telling me is, so you are aware of being unhealthy while employing a trick because of your unhealthiness. The 3-6-9 method will then not solve your problem. Visualization will then not solve your problem. Affirming will then not do anything for you because your awareness stays in the same place. Right? This is all just to really give you an understanding of why are we visualizing and what are we supposed to do? Right? So what I am is what I'm aware that I am. Right? And that translates into that old mystical ancient sentence, I am that I am. So I am what I am. I'm aware of what I'm aware of. You are only awareness. And that actually spills over into what you can be aware of in physical reality. But physical reality is just this spilling over. It's just a teapot running over with what you are already aware of. I know I'm driving around in this example because it's so important, right? So if I had to answer a question before we go into visualization, and just give me one more minute, a person asked in the comments, and usually you do this, and I love that you're asking questions, how to act healthy when I'm unhealthy. Well, it's you are aware of being unhealthy, and you can also be aware of being healthy. You can actually be aware of all the health you do have, all of your limbs that are healthy, or previous health, or other people's health. And you can also, and this is the hardest one, be aware of your own health. You can simply recognize, but my awareness is not limited to my physical body. My awareness is not limited to what my doctors say. My awareness, my being, the only thing I know to be true for certain that I'm experiencing this life, can actually be aware of being healthy. And that obviously asks you to then be aware of it with mind and matter, with what you put in your head. So what are your thoughts? Are they concentrated on being healthy or unhealthy? What are your external dialogue, internal dialogue, day-to-day actions? But also matter. Are you acting on behalf of an unhealthy person? Right? And that translates over to the law of knowing. But it is actually the same thing. Knowing and being aware of, it's the same thing. When I know something to be true before it happens, it's actually me being aware of it. I'm filling my awareness. I'm drowning my awareness with something to be aware of, because I know it will run over into physical reality. And it will happen so fast. Look at the comment I showed you. Just losing anything. every bad thing because I stopped being aware that I have this bad thing. So solving a problem is not solving a problem because then you are aware of having a problem. Solving a problem is becoming unaware of the problem and aware of the solution or the state of not having the problem, which takes us into visualization. Right? Let me draw this for you. We have 15 minutes. I have to be quick. It's visualization is timeline viewing, as I've said to you before. When you close your eyes and spend your awareness in a place, you are experiencing what we call potential. What physicists would call dark matter. When they observe the universe, they can measure that they can only see about 0.1% of it, and also only account for 0.1% of it, or something like that, maybe 1% of it. The rest of it is potential. It exists as vibration, but it's not solidified into matter yet, right? So when we are visualizing, we are spending awareness in a place that is not physical matter yet. Just closing your eyes, seeing an image, but you are only able to view this because it's in another now moment, and they are tied so strongly together that it exists in another now moment because you are viewing it, and you are only viewing it because it exists in another now moment. And that entanglement, it could somewhat call quantum entanglement, and we don't have to talk about that right now, but it has this codependency on it, where you are experiencing and viewing it at the same time, just not in physical reality. You have only ever been in the now moment. And from this now moment, you can view any possibility. And by spending awareness on any possibility, the possibility you would like, you are extracting everything that awareness would solidify into when it spills over, into your current present moment. So what am I aware of right now? That is why you're meditating. That is why you are visualizing. What am I aware of? Right? So that is why I call it timeline viewing, because you're viewing just a place that can be real if you keep on viewing that place, if you know that to be what you will spend your awareness on. And that is also why Neville changed his position, not changed entirely, but from going, you have to view it every night, to you have to only view it once. But he was right both times, because you have to view it every night. If you are not aware of it, will actually show. And then when you have proven itself to you by visualization, you have enough awareness just by visualizing it once. Then you walk around in the awareness that this visualization would have done the trick, the law of knowing. Right? So you can actually visualize something once if your identity matches up with what you want. So you spend awareness on a physical item you would like, and then you just walk around in the awareness that is going to appear. Right? If your awareness does not participate, if your awareness is helping you in another direction, one visualization is not enough. Because it's not about the visualization, it's about the knowing. It's about walking in the awareness that the awareness that will actually bring that to you. All right? So what you are most aware of, let's say this shoe, right? And you have infinite possibilities. Right? And any one of these exists as potential. You can have any reality you would like. But you are right now aware of being stuck in a hamster wheel, yada, 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 whatever, right? Which takes you spending your awareness on this future reality. You're actually maybe only being aware of half of the way, but you're leading yourself in a direction that solidifies more and more and more. You are becoming so aware that it spills over to something that you become more aware of. Right? And that is why you keep on telling yourself, yeah, but I only see proof of that. Yes, and that is becoming more aware of it. And that is becoming more aware of it. So once you become aware of being stuck in a hamster wheel, you will be more stuck in a hamster wheel and more stuck in a hamster wheel until you one day say, but I'm not stuck in a hamster wheel. Building that bridge, the bridge of incidence, as Neville Goddard would say, spinning awareness in another direction. Right? Expanding consciousness, awareness in that direction. Slowly becoming aware and filling your awareness with that. And when you become aware of it, you take that potential. So let's say that this blue in here is physical reality. You are grabbing, right? And you are actually including physical reality to be bigger in one part. So you're taking this potential and making it physical reality. So we can do this with closed eyes, as most people teach it, but we can also do it with eyes open. And this is the hard part, and it's very fun to visualize with eyes open. You don't have to see an image. You can hear noises. Awareness does not care what you use as the vehicle. An image, a sound, a smell, it doesn't matter. What matters is that awareness feels this as true. So when you can close your eyes and you can being aware of a certain future you would like, or of a version of you that you would like, or a state that you would like to occupy, or a physical thing that you would like to have. Right? And you can also do it with eyes open. So you can actually go into your car and try to overlay an awareness that this car you are driving is actually not the car that you're driving. I know it sounds weird, but you should try it out. You should try when you walk down the stairs this morning, being aware in your mind of another car in your driveway than the one that is physically there. And when you walk out in the garage, still being aware of a new car. Sitting in the car, still being aware of a new car. Driving around in the car, still being aware of a new car. When you talk about it, still being aware of a new car. And that is what I call open-eyed visualization. And you can actually do it. It's actually quite fun. And what you are doing is you are spending awareness in the right place. You're spending the awareness on being healthy and not on solving unhealthy issues. Right? And that is how you visualize. I have several more quotes, but what you need to know from now is that we are not looking to see it. We are looking to experience it, because to your awareness, physical matter is not more real. The only real thing, if you close your eyes, is just your awareness. You can just, when there's nothing in your head, you're just aware of being. And when you really realize that physical reality is just sensations, dogs, they look at this physical reality in a different way, in different colors. Cats do the same. You'll realize, okay, so this is just a representation of my sensory organs in my awareness. So what I would not like in physical reality does not make any sense, that I'm aware of it not being here. Because I can be aware of it, of being it here, having it already, by just including it in my awareness. I can see it with my eyes open or my eyes closed, but that is how you visualize. And that is also why when we try to employ a trick, when we haven't yet realized that visualization is you being aware of something at the exact same place as physical reality takes up your awareness, then we try to employ a trick. We go to bed every night and we visualize, and it works. Because you are drowning your awareness in something that you would like to have. That's the same thing with affirming. That's the same thing with scripting. But what actually does the trick is you spending awareness on it. But then let's say that you are here, right? And you employ a trick, right? And next day, you employ a trick. And that trick is to have the car, right? You not being aware of it, you actually collapsed items or particles, not items, in this world. You actually attracted a car. That is why the law of attraction name is so popular. You actually became aware of that car, made it possible for that awareness to spill over into you actually having a car, physical reality. But then you stop visualizing. It's not working. You expand it maybe half the way towards a car. But you then go back to self, right? This is you not employing the trick, self. And that self, what is that self aware of? No car. So you have actually just been doing yourself a disservice by employing a trick, not knowing that you will have the car if you are aware of it. So not only does it not make sense to employ this trick, or you can do it, but only if you know that when you stop doing it, you can still be aware of that same thing. That is why I say that it's self that manifests. It's that story that manifests, that your being. What do you think that you actually are? I am that I am. So what you are aware of will be what manifests. So you have to be continuously aware of it. So you don't have to see it in visualization when you go to bed at night. You have to be it. You have to experience it as real. And that takes us on to Neville Goddard's ladder exercise. Why did he not just say, close your eyes, imagine a ladder, go, have fun, maybe it will work? The reason why he didn't do it is because he did not want you to see a separate image in your head of a ladder. He wanted you to realize this is your experience of a ladder. That is why he wanted you to feel your right arm, feel your left arm, grab the ladder, feel the ladder, climb the ladder, to instead of having this divided person, right, of you, and then experiencing a ladder, right? He did not want you to experience this. I am with my eyes closed having a visualization about a ladder. No. He wanted you to have the experience of climbing a ladder. Because that would be the awareness that would then spill over to a ladder in physical reality. Right? So he was way before a lot of people when he realized, if I have to make this exercise work, I will have to experience it. I will not be separate from what I'm experiencing, because then I would be acting like there is two gods. There's me, and then there's what I'm experiencing. That doesn't make any sense. All the time you are always the one experiencing yourself. There's only one you. Also, when you close your eyes and visualize something, you are then the awareness having that thing in your awareness. Right? It's never different. So I only have a few minutes left, so let's see what we are missing. Yeah. So the further away I feel from my image, if I visualize like this, I'm actually further away from God or consciousness or Allah or whatever you would call that essence of it all, the infinite intelligence. I'm actually believing that I am not my awareness experiencing this thing. Right? Believing that what I'm praying to is so far away. But why does he say, I'm closer to you than your jugular vein? Right? It is to tell you, I'm right there if you want me to be. I'm right there if you recognize that I am right there in your awareness. So I am not separate from what I'm experiencing. I am my experience. Right? So the closer I can get to the realization that this is my experience, the more I collapse it. So I actually have to know it as true. I'm climbing a ladder. I'm not imagining myself to be climbing a ladder. Right? And that is why Joe wants you to go into deep meditation, because a lot of people visualizing will be aware of being in their bed, closing their eyes, employing a trick on reality to change reality. That will be their entire awareness. And I'm asking you to lose that awareness. And if you can't, go to deep meditation, because that will often have you lose your awareness of self. But you don't need to go into deep meditation. I'm just telling you that is why Joe Dispenza is so massively successful with his methods, right? If you haven't read it, read How to Become Supernatural by Joe Dispenza and do his meditations. They're actually quite good and quite enjoyable. But you can do this without it by today knowing I am only my awareness. And what I am aware of, I choose. And what I choose to be aware of is my reality at that moment. So instead of being so aware of being me in my bed, not having the thing, trying to visualize a thing that I would like to have, by therefore creating separation and actually spending awareness on not having the thing, actually pushing my car further away from me by visualizing it. Know that you are having the car in experience, and that experience will transcend itself, solidify itself, spill over. You're filling the teapot with that thing you want, right? You are that thing. You are experiencing it. So that challenge I want you to give to you right now. I have 0 minutes left. I will give you the challenge in 60 seconds, is to, can I for the next 5 days see my future as arrived so vividly that I actually feel different? So for the next 5 days, I will not try to manifest. Manifestation is the automatic result of the spillover of awareness spent in a certain place. Remember that sentence. So the manifestation actually happens at a point where I don't care, because that not caring will mean that I can just be aware of having it already. As long as I do care, I'm also aware of not having it. I'll just be aware of it with my voice, with my what I say. So you can script for the next 5 days, you can visualize, but I would try to just spend awareness on, I have everything I want. If I want something, let me spend awareness on not trying to get it, but having it. Can I change my emotional state for the next 5 days by just spending awareness on only having it, in visualization, in building my house of faith in the morning by telling myself I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. And then by going to meditation or prayer a few times every day, continuously telling myself I'm healthy, I'm rich, I'm love. I'm not the opposite of that, right? Because if you say to yourself, I am the opposite of that, trying to get it, you spend your awareness on being the opposite of it. The goal is to change your state. Can I, for the next 5 days, do that? So I know this video promised you to tell you about visualization, and I think I did in a way that you have not heard before. That I'm not asking you to include any senses. I'm not asking you to do something specific. I'm asking you to know that your visualization is as real as physical reality to your awareness. And your awareness is everything you have. It's in your entire being. You knowing that you exist. Right? I think that's it. I have to go into the call. Talk to you soon. Tomorrow I'll be posting about creating reality with our words. So stay subscribed so we can really talk about that in depth. Talk to you soon. Bye. Get out of here.